Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, it's a brand new day, it's a brand new week, which means it's a brand new opportunity for you to do something amazing, and it all begins today. But of course, you have your news headlines coming up on this Monday. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you've been part of my conversation with Dr. Velma Bagby discussing her brand new book, The Catch No One Wants. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with their Monday headlines. In international news, France's Macron is re-elected, but far-right rival raises game. French President Emmanuel Macron comfortably won re-election to a second term on Sunday, according to polling agencies' projection. In the midst of Russia's war on Ukraine, the result offered the European Union the reassurance of stable leadership in the bloc's only nuclear-armed power and was immediately hailed by France's allies. A second five-year term for the 44-year-old centrist spared France and Europe from the seismic upheaval of a shift of power to firebrand populists. Macron's presidential election challenger, who quickly conceded defeat but still appeared on course for a best-ever showing. Acknowledging that numerous voters cast ballots for him simply to keep out the fiery nationalist far-right policies, Macron pledged to reunite the country filled with so many doubts, so many divisions, and worked to assuage the voter anger that fed the other campaign. No one will be left by the side of the road, he said in the victory speech against the backdrop of the Eiffel Tower and a projection of the blue, white, and red tricolor French flag. We have a lot to do, and the war in Ukraine reminds us that we are going through tragic times where France must make its voice heard, he said, as several hundred supporters happily waved French and EU flags to the beat of Daft Punk's One More Time. In more international news, Ukraine official says Zelensky meets top-level U.S. delegation. An advisor to Ukrainian President Zelensky said Sunday night that the U.S. Secretaries of State and Defense Secretary were meeting with the Ukrainian leader in the highest-level visit to Kyiv by an American delegation since the start of Russia's invasion. The advisor said in an interview on Ukrainian TV late Sunday that the talks are going on right now. Zelensky's meeting with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin came as Ukraine pressed the West for more powerful weapons in its fight against the Russian invasion, which began now 60 days ago. Zelensky announced a planned visit of the U.S. Secretary of State and U.S. Defense Secretary at a news conference on Saturday night in a Kyiv subway station. While the West has funneled military equipment to Ukraine, Zelensky has stressed repeatedly that the country needs more heavy weapons, including long-range air defense systems as well as warplanes. In national news, Biden administration to promote availability of COVID antiviral pill. President Joe Biden and his administration want Americans and their doctors to know that the country has an ample supply of the life-saving COVID-19 antiviral treatment and that it no longer needs to be rationed. First approved in December, supply of the Pfizer regimen was initially very limited, but as COVID-19 cases across the country have fallen and manufacturing has increased, it is now far more abundant. The White House is now moving to raise awareness of the pill and taking steps to make it easier to access. In more national news, long-serving U.S. Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah dies at age 88. Orrin Hatch, the longest-serving Republican senator in history and a fixture in Utah politics for more than 4 decades, has died at the age of 88. The retired senator's death Saturday was announced in a statement from his foundation, which did not specify a cause. A staunch conservative on most economic and social issues, he also teamed up with Democrats several times during his long career on issues ranging from stem cell research to rights for people with disabilities to expanding children's health insurance. He formed friendships across the aisle, particularly with the late Democratic Senator Edward M. Kennedy. President Joe Biden, who served with Hatch in the Senate for over 3 decades, on Sunday described the Republican lawmaker as a fighter for the causes he believed in, but with a softer side, including writing songs and poems that he shared with friends. In business news, why Fed worries about the strongest U.S. job market in decades. Chair Jerome Powell isn't as pleased with the robust U.S. job market as you might think he would be, and he and the Federal Reserve plan to do something about it, take it down a notch. Last week, Powell described the job market as extremely historically tight and unsustainably hot. Available jobs are near record highs, wages are rising at their fastest pace in decades, the unemployment rate is flirting with a half-century low, and layoffs are sparse. Yet Powell doesn't see all of this as purely a cause for celebration. With the highest inflation in 4 decades, hurting households and businesses, the Fed chair regards the job market's strength as a key driver of spiking prices. And finally, in entertainment news, Bad Guys Best The Northman, Nick Cage at the box office. That made the top 5 movies over the weekend. Number 1, The Bad Guys with $24 million. Number 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 with $15 million. Number 3, Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore with $14 million. Number 4, The Northman with $12 million. And number 5, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent with $7 million. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's on time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Tackle all your daily responsibilities with gratitude. The responsibilities God gives you to attend to should always be handled with gratitude. Your responsibilities are unique to you and should be given all your attention until completed. It is easy to procrastinate or put things off till later, and if you practice this kind of behavior, your tasks grow larger and may never get done at all, until one morning you wake up stunned by everything you let pile up. Remember, there are always things in your life that need to be attended to on a daily basis. These things are your responsibility in order for your life to flow smoothly. Become grateful you have tasks to attend to during your entire day. Today, complete your tasks gradually and gratefully as you breathe in all the fullness life has to give you, and always enjoy the day.
We have part of my conversation coming up with Dr. Velma Bagby in today's Entertainment Spotlight. Stay with us. You're listening to Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with Entertainment Spotlight. Dr. Velma Bagby joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about her brand new book, The Catch No One Wants. Here's a bit of our conversation. I want to talk about this experience for you right now, because you have a book right now, depending on how our audience is joining us, Dr. Velma, the new book, The Catch No One Wants, is either available for pre-order or order. We have the link for our audience there. But you have other books you've been able to write as well. What has it been like for you to use the gift of the written word to reach an audience around the world?
Well, it's been exciting because my journey began at the age of 64 in 2018. I published my very first book at the urging of my daughters. We had some conversations around the same topic as this book, dating and relationships. And based on those conversations, my daughter said, look, our friends are asking questions about our conversations. You need to write a book. And that's how the journey began. I found that I love writing.
And now here you are. I hadn't told you this, but I actually had a chance to read another book of yours when you and I were introduced, and where you actually shared your own story as well, Dr. Velma, and that was My 70s Love Story. It's available for only 99 cents, a Kindle edition, on Amazon. What was that like for you to take us into your own personal journey of not just relationships, but also your relationship with faith?
I think it's important to be transparent, and that was the first time I did that in that particular story, and I felt like it needed to be told. And I remember I was posting excerpts on my Instagram, and my largest following was high schoolers, just talking about our dating experience in the 70s and how so different it is now. I grew a huge following of high schoolers based on that story.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversation Daily News. But perhaps get on tomorrow with more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversation Daily News today. Let's make today amazing. Take care.